Sellens. I'm the Executive Director and Founder for Texas Litter Control. Texas Litter Control was started in 2013. To date, we've done more than 100,000 spay-neuter surgeries and over 5,000 adoptions. We are so happy to be partners with PetSmart Charities because there is absolutely no way we could accomplish everything we do in our community without their help. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We look forward to working with you guys in the future, and we wish you the best.
Funding is such a struggle any day that rescues are operating. However, COVID put a stop to almost all funding that we had coming in as a small grassroots rescue. So without the grant, we don't know that we would have been in existence last year. It has helped us with all of our adoption efforts due to the vetting that we were able to do at Texas Litter Control, especially since it has 3 locations spread around town.
Our mission is enormous. The unwanted pet population in Texas and in Houston is staggering. Collaborating with Texas Litter Control and having the PetSmart grant has enabled us to achieve big goals. So in the cat program, we adopted over 240 cats during COVID, during 2020, and that's a handful of people adopting 240 cats and dogs.
About 65, with no venue for the adoptions.
No adoption venues for the dogs. So if you think about the dynamics of a city like Houston, and we're dependent on fosters to care for the animals from the time of intake through the time they go up for adoption, it's not only super helpful financially, but it's also helpful logistically to have a partner where we set up a foster and then we just arrange for the vetting of their animal. Then the foster can just come in and accomplish that, as opposed to intensive hand-holding with that foster to try to get whatever animal they have all the way through the program.
From the dog side, it's been extremely helpful, just like Kelly was talking about, to not have to personally bring every animal. And what I would like to say about Texas Litter Control, no matter what location, all we need is our forms filled out and the program intake to pick up is exactly the same. So it helps a great deal. We have worked with a couple of other rescues and shared some of our resources with them from the dog program.
We find that we have great collaborations with individuals who are even in some of the rural markets around Houston, like Brazoria County and Wharton County, where they don't have adoption programs. They didn't pre-COVID, and certainly with COVID, their ability to get those animals into loving homes really virtually was non-existent. And so we partnered with them. So on a weekly basis, we have animals coming from Wharton, for example, up to Houston, and then they go into our adoption program. I think if rescuers can come together, like is happening with this PetSmart grant program, to collaborate and work together, we can achieve a lot more rather than trying to do so much all by ourselves. Because we had the grant to cover the basic vetting, we were able to take in animals that needed to have eye removals, leg removals, some difficult internal surgery type cases that we otherwise would not have had the resources to spend on those. I buy vaccines here at Texas Litter Control. Sometimes we buy microchips, and we do all of that ourselves as much as possible. We buy in bulk dewormer and flea preventative, which we share those with our fosters so that they're able to, right from intake, we vaccinate, deworm, flea preventative initially, and then we set them to come up here on site to Texas Litter Control for their surgery, and they get that second shot, and then boom, they're ready to go up for adoption.
Helping with the veterinary cost has actually allowed us to rescue more animals. We are up 29% over last year, which means we have saved more than 67 more dogs and cats than we did last year. Every time we're able to take advantage of some veterinary help, it just opens the door for us to be able to help more animals. We're one of the groups in Houston who take on high medical cost animals, and when we don't have the funds to be able to do that, we have to say no. So this grant has helped us to help several high maintenance, high veterinary costs. We had one puppy who was found in Sam Houston State Park. She had obviously been thrown out of a car, had fractures to both her front legs, had bone infection. It was thousands of dollars, and you know, unless we have those kind of available funds, we have to say no. But we were able to help Anna, and she found a great home. We were also able to help in Willis. There was a hoarding situation with cats, over 25 cats. We were able to get everybody spayed and neutered. There were 10 kittens who had horrible roundworms and other parasites, fleas. It cost us about $2,000 to get all kittens completely vetted. Those are situations where we would just have to say no if we didn't have the extra veterinary care that we have been able to receive through the grant. The grant enabled us to work with a group in Hapsville, Pennsylvania, who has a sanctuary adoption center, and we were able to send 34 animals up to Pennsylvania and work very closely with that group to get them all adopted. They've all found wonderful homes. Working with groups like PetSmart Charities, Texas Litter Control, Smart Rescue, the Hapsville group, all of these in collaboration. We've learned that if you collaborate with all these groups, you're just able to save more lives, which is the ultimate goal. What we were able to do is to take on more animals. So, 29% increase over last year was a big difference for a group like us. We use Texas Litter Control almost exclusively for all of our spay and neuter and basic vaccines. We get multiple requests through Facebook, through email of people desperately needing help, and the kinds of grants that PetSmart gives and we're able to take advantage of has just made such a huge difference. There's a lot of groups who aren't able to take the medical emergency animals, and through this grant it has definitely helped us be able to say yes instead of no.
We are able to help at least double the amount of cats and kittens that we were before. We're able to take in more cats, get them healthy, ready for adoption, and move to their new homes much faster. It also enables us to free up funds to help other animals with problems that we couldn't help before. Right now, fundraising is down, but the grant enables us to go on doing what we do, which is get the animals vetted, ready, and into new homes. Tori had been hit by a car, left at Harris County Shelter, contacted her owners through the microchip, and they just didn't have time to deal with her, they said. Tori had a broken nasal bones, she had a debugged face, a crushed shoulder and front leg, and pins placed in her other front leg. Tori is now in Nancy's home. So it all started out with a little group of kittens left at PetSmart that the grant helped us care for, which brought along Tori, who now is in a wonderful home, and we couldn't have helped without funding. I have worked with another organization that is predominantly dogs, and I've helped them with a few of their spay neuters through this grant so they could get their dogs adopted. Also, we always work hand in hand with Texas Litter Control and collaborate with them on a lot of different things. The main thing is work together. Don't fight among yourselves, no drama. We're in this for the same reasons, and that's to help animals. And if we work together, we can help so many more than we can if we are separate. I do get my vaccines purchased here at TLC, and my staff and I do give our own vaccines. PetSmart Charities has been such a blessing for our organization and for all the animals in our area. We have been able to save so many and do so much more because of PetSmart Charities.
Having some of the surgeries paid for has helped us a lot in many respects. We're able to pull more kittens out of the shelters, and we're able to get the medical care that they need with the money. We're a small rescue, and we rely on donations primarily. we've been able to help some kitties that probably wouldn't otherwise have survived, kitties with severe injuries that had astronomical vet bills. Been able to help out the local shelters when they had to shut down intake in this past year due to problems with the pandemic. I specialize in the little babies. So this guy was about 4 or 5 ounces when I got him. He had to be tube fed because he was so sick with upper respiratory he wouldn't eat. He is still a little challenged. He also had to go through ringworm, which is kind of a common thing for a lot of kittens. We tried to save this eye, but it was too infected and he was not going to be able to use that eye. He's been to a couple doctors to look at it and they recommended just leaving it the way it is. We've had other cats. One of them in particular was Kai, who had, again, upper respiratory and which infected the eyes, and he had to have both eyes removed surgically. And he was adopted and has a new home now, so great end to that story. We had a kitty named Barney, he was found during one of our TNR expeditions, and he couldn't open his mouth. He had to go to a veterinary specialist hospital in Houston, and what they found was that his jaw had been broken and it had healed back and fused together, and he was unable to open his mouth, so he couldn't eat. So he was like a 6-month-old kitten, but he only weighed 3 pounds. So his vet bills were like $5,000, and we wouldn't have been able to probably help him without, the grant funds for offsetting the grant funds for spay and neuter other kitties, so we could divert funds from spay neuter to helping the special needs kitties. And it's just amazing that we have that opportunity, and we so appreciate it. Klipdeer Cat Sanctuary and Smart Rescue, we've always worked amazingly well together. Klipdeer does a lot of TNR, and we take a lot of the kittens that come out of the TNR efforts. Yes, so we're always thrilled when those kitties get homes instead of having to go back to feral colonies. And we've also shared appointments at TLC. If someone has made appointments and the other can't make it, we share back and forth. I'm so glad we can all work together to help the animals of Montgomery County. And we couldn't do it without, Texas Litter Control helping us with obtaining the grant funds. It's just amazing. We can all save more kitties working together, for sure. This kitty's name is Cracker, and he was found on scene by police when they were investigating crack busts at a hotel. So this is Cracker. And we just want to voice our appreciation for Texas Litter Control. They've been amazing this year. I don't think they've had to shut down at all for COVID issues, but a lot of vet offices did have to do that. And we couldn't do this without them. We couldn't save near as many lives. And Klipdeer Cat Sanctuary does adoptions at the North Conroe PetSmart, which is 2900 I-45. We have an incredible manager there. This is the Portofino PetSmart in Shenandoah. Smart Rescue also does adoptions at 99 in Riley Fuzzle, and 99 in Kirkendall, and 1960 in I-45 PetSmart. So we love all of our PetSmart associates.